Right, hello everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. I'm here, Mark. I'm a brother of Stephen, in case you're wondering who on earth I am. I will be doing today's stream with Wales versus Australia. So do come along. Please let me know what your score predictions are, what's going to happen today, etc., etc. It's a very exciting match. It's a big match, of course, leading up to the biggest match of the day, of course, being South Africa versus England at Twickenham. So yeah, but we will have first Wales versus Australia, also massive, massive game, very, very tough one to call. But yeah, I'm going to be watching along with you, and I welcome all of you. And if you haven't seen me before, again, I'm going to say my name is Mark. I will be doing today's stream for this game. So just a couple of things from my side. It is currently brought to you in partnership with Koza and ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is making it easier than ever to watch all of the Autumn Nation series action for free. To watch, download ExpressVPN, link in the description, connect to a UK server, and create an Amazon Prime 30-day free trial where you can stream all the action live and in HD. BetKoza wants to give you free bets all weekend. So to win a free bet, visit the link in the description and the chat and make your score prediction. We will be giving out random free bets throughout the stream, as well as a 200 Rand free bet to the person with the closest prediction at the end. Please do ensure that you have a BetKoza account in order to make sure that you are eligible to receive the free bet if you do participate in that. So do go and look in the descriptions. You can find out how to watch the game live, as well as go and predict the score, of course, and the person with the closest score at the end will get a good free bet courtesy of BetKoza. 200 Rand free bet, that is, and I might also be giving away a couple of random ones during the game as well. So do be sure to go and participate with that, and I'm looking forward to watching the game with everyone here today. So just wrapping up right now, because of course the Bulls game was delayed today, so it's Bulls versus Ospreys at the moment, and then we're going to switch across to the Wales versus Australia game, but that game is still ongoing. It's currently 31 points to the Bulls, and Ospreys with 19 points, 69 minutes in. The game was delayed due to lightning, but it's now obviously been well underway. So we will be kicking off the game at 5:15. That is Wales versus Australia. Do let me know your score predictions, guys. I really, really want to know what people think is going to happen today, because I think it really could very easily go both ways. There is no reason whatsoever why any team would have a significant advantage over the other. But yes, just going to read a couple of more things about our partners with Forever Sports. So BetKoza is the official Forever Sports betting partner and want to make it easier than ever for you to win big. Predict the score using the link in the description and chat, and stand a chance of winning a free bet every match. If you're not already a BetKoza customer, then click on the link in the description and create an account so we can give you some free bets. And then just a word on ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is the #1 rated VPN to stream sports from around the world. As our partners, they want to make it easy as possible to watch all the Autumn Nation series action, as well as so much more rugby every week. To watch the action, check the guide in the description. ExpressVPN is giving everyone in the Forever Sports community an exclusive offer. Get an additional 3 months free when signing up for a 12-month subscription. The channel does guides every week on how to watch rugby and all the sport around the globe for free using ExpressVPN. So yes, we look forward to having you join us along. And yeah, do let me know what do you want to happen today. What are things you could see happening? I mean, I reckon there's going to be a lot of running rugby today. I don't think it's going to be a massive amount of kicking. I think both teams are desperate to get wins in this game to end off the series on a bit of a high. Of course, whoever wins today's match will certainly feel as though it was a good way to end, not just because it's a win, but because it's a win against big name opposition, of course. So, and these two teams have, yeah, I mean, Italy beat Australia. That was huge for Australia's lack of confidence, I suppose. And Wales got absolutely thumped by New Zealand as well during the series. So both teams looking to prove themselves in today's game and really make a statement right at the end, just to say, hey, we're not that bad. It was just a couple of bad results, and yeah, we'll see how the game goes today, of course. Just letting you know, of course, the teams today. So if I go through the Wales team, we're looking at the pack. We've got Gareth Thomas, Ken Owens, and Dylan Lewis in the front row. The locks, Adam Beard and Alun Jones, of course, the veteran Alun Jones, no longer captain of the Welsh side, has given up captaincy. And our loose trio of Jack Morgan, Justin Tipperick, the captain, of course, and Taulupe Faletau. Then looking at the backs, our scrum half, Thomas Williams, and our fly half today, Gareth Anscombe. Wings, Rio Dyer and Alex Cuthbert. Our centres, Joe Hawkins and George North. And our fullback, Lee Halfpenny, for the Welsh team. And then into the replacements, of course, our front row replacements for Wales, we're looking at Ryan Ellis, Rodri Jones and Thomas Francis. Our other forward there's Ben Carter and Josh McLeod. And going into our replacements for the backs, we've got Kieran Hardy, Reece Priestland and Josh Adams. Then if we look at the Australian team today, we've got James Slipper, the captain, in the front row alongside Falau Fainga and Alan Ilatoa. Our locks for Australia, Nick Frost and Cadden Neville. And our loose trios, Jed Holloway, Fraser McWright and Langy Gleeson. Then looking at the backs, we have Jake Gordon and number 10, Ben Donaldson. Our wingers, Mark, and it's got a ridiculously long surname, so before I butcher it, it's Nawakani. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Anyway, and Jordan Petia, the centres in midfield, Reece Hodge and Len Ikitau. And our fullback for Australia is Tom Wright. Replacements today, Lachlan Lonergan, Tam Robertson and Sam Talakai in the front row. Then Ned Hannigan, Pete Samo, and other forwards, of course, on the bench. And then looking at the backline bench, has got Tate McDermott, Noah Lolesio, and Jock Campbell. Of course, Australia suffering quite a few concussion injuries this series, so they've got a bit of a makeshift team today, which is not exactly ideal in the slightest. But that is the team they're going to have to deal with today because, well, as we saw, there was a lot of controversial information and news regarding, of course, Nick White and his concussion, because he was sent back out of the field when obviously clearly concussed. So people were very upset about it, of course. That was amongst other things. They had quite a few concussion injuries this tour, but so they're having to field a couple of players who are finally getting a bit more of a chance than they would have previously. But of course, still quite a strong Australian outfit, and Welsh too as well. So a very good game coming up, of course, live here on Forever Sports. Again, if you do want to watch along with us, and you want to watch the game live, do look in the description of this video right now. It'll lead you to another video that explains exactly how you can watch this game for free, utilizing one of our partners, not BetCoza, but ExpressVPN. BetCoza, however, is of course one of our partners as well, and you can be sure to go and bet on this game, and we've got a couple of bet previews as well that you can go and see and use that to sort of make some decisions regarding your bets. And if you go and predict the score today, closest prediction will be getting a free bet courtesy of BetCoza and Forever Sports, their partnership. So be sure to go and get us yourself a BetCoza account and go and predict the score. So yeah, do let me know, people, in the comments, what are the predictions for today? How do we reckon the teams will do? What sort of, are we sort of looking at high points, low points? Is it going to be a gritty game? Is it going to be open play rugby? Is it going to be exciting to watch? Or are we going to have one of those really, is it going to be one in the forward pack? Or are we really going to just see the backs try and use a bit of flair to get through? So just looking at the comments here, we've got most of the Africans will probably be rooting for Wales. Who can blame them? Ain't nobody wants an Australian to win. But yeah, a draw wouldn't be the worst thing either, Albert. Garen is saying Australia for the win. So clearly must be an Australian fan, or if you are South African, slightly bizarre. Evans says, think Wales going to take the lead, Australia to fight back and win or lose it with the kick at the end. So you reckon it's going to be within 3 points right at the end. So that's quite a prediction. So you're saying a very close game. So we'll have to see. Of course, the game will be starting shortly. I'm still just keeping an eye on this Bulls versus Ospreys game. Bulls are winning, and they should see the game out as well. Ospreys doing their best to fight back because Bulls were all over them, but Ospreys did fight back. But yeah, they're going to come up short, quite well short as well. But they do have a bonus point at least, so they'll be a bit happier about that. But yes. Meanwhile, the anthems, of course, for the feature game today on my video at least, are being sung. Wales currently singing theirs, of course, very famously sung anthem, unbelievably loud, especially in the Millennium. Certainly something on the bucket list for most rugby fans to go and watch a rugby game in all the major stadiums in the UK and in Europe, of course. This being the Millennium Stadium in Wales, also one of the best stadiums to watch rugby in. Yeah, let me know what are your bucket list items in rugby? You know, what are the certain things you really want to see at some point in your life? You know, I certainly think a game in Twickenham is certainly really high up there. But yeah, go and rank. Tell me what sort of stadiums do you want to see teams play, and what sort of games do you want to go and watch? You know, I've had the privilege of watching, you know, arguably the biggest rugby game in the world multiple times, that being the All Blacks versus Springboks. But tell me, what games do you hope to see in your life, you know, in terms of those rare occasions? Do you hope to go and travel with the Boks at some point in Europe in their end of season tour and go and watch the Boxers play against all the Northern Hemisphere teams? You know, is that a bucket list item for some of you? I don't know. But yeah, just currently doing a final look at the teams for today's big match. Yeah, I mean, as all games are, they're often won with the forward pack. And, you know, it's difficult to call this one. I'd probably actually back Wales' pack to be... they're a bit more experienced, let's put it that way. They're a little bit more experienced, but it's not going to be certainly an easy challenge at all. So a very even game, I reckon. I think that's exactly what we're in for. I think we're in for a very even game. And yeah, it's very much something we're just gonna have to watch along, literally, and see who's gonna put their best foot forward and take a grip of this game. Yeah, Albert saying there, the France Boks World Cup final in Paris would be epic. I think that we would all agree that would be a very epic thing. The only issue with that is the fact that we are in France, so the French contingent will be very loud and behind their team, so it's going to be a very difficult game to win for the Boks if they were to make a final against France. Quite frankly, let's just go and win our group stage, and we'll go from there for the World Cup. I'm not predicting too much from the World Cup. I just want to see us play good rugby, and I want us to be well prepared so we can put our best foot forward. I think a good result at a minimum for next year's World Cup as reigning champions is to make at least the semis. As long as we make the semis, what happens after that is just going to be down to which team is currently playing the best in that World Cup. But, you know, if we make semis, who knows what could happen, because we know how well South Africa play in big tournaments right at the end. We are exceptionally good at making sure we get over the line. It was, of course, the only team in rugby history to win every World Cup final they have been in. So, you know, never doubt a Springbok. But meanwhile, our Wales versus Australia game is getting underway. Kick-off is from Australia's side. Australia playing from left to right. And we have game underway, I think. Wait, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, game is under the way. Yeah, here we go. So, ball's kicked out just outside the 22 there. Wales tried to, but they've lost out already. Australia with early possession here from the kickoff. They've got whole numbers on the bar, and it's intercepted from Wales, but I think they're going to go back for a penalty, or at least a possible knock-on, I think it was. It was indeed a knock-on, I think. So, yeah, a knock-on early on, so very early scrum in this game, but they saw it early there, Wales, and knocked on. They lifted the player, old Nick Frost, I think it was. Indeed, no, not Nick Frost, of course, Nick Frost for Australia. Sorry, it was Adam Beard who went up and just spilt the ball right into Australia's path. A bit poor, if I'm honest, really, probably just nerves at the end of the day. But I mean, he's quite an experienced player. You wouldn't expect that from him. So early mistake there from Wales. And Australia now got an attacking scrum just outside the Welsh 22. Yeah, Albert, with those players back, you can never doubt the Boks, really. Oh, it's a huge... Oh, I was about to say huge scrum from Australia, but the ref has called it back. I think he's seen something that he doesn't quite like in terms of a decent scrum, so he's going to bring it back and they're going to reset. But Australia, they got a huge shove on Wales, and they put the ball in early and were moving, but the ref very quick to call it But yeah, early dominance there from the Australian pack. I want to see if that'll continue into the next scrum. Again, I doubt it. It did look slightly odd, the fact that Wales basically just walked backwards. It was a bit bizarre. But yeah, lining up for the scrum again. I do think the forwards are going to be huge today because it's obviously international rugby. It's very physical. It's close quarter combat. But again, Australia hitting through. Big scrum from Australia. It's an advantage. They win the penalty. Early penalty just on the 22. Wales not happy about it. But Australia, as chuffed as anything. It was a huge scrum from Australia. Absolutely thrashed the Welsh pack there. And they've chosen to go for a shot. So Australia with an opportunity for some early points here. 2 minutes into the game. So, yeah. Australia getting the start that they wanted, essentially. Wales having a rather torrid one. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, do be sure to go and place some bets with BetCoza. And also go and give us a score prediction. There's a link in the description. And you can potentially win some free bets with BetCoza. But otherwise, ExpressVPN, they are your friend if you want to watch this game for free, I might add. Link in the description exactly on how you can do that. Otherwise, do go and do that, and you can stick with me, and we can talk about the game together, and we can discuss, and we can watch along, as we say, together. And Australia put the first points on the board, easily slotted over. There we go. Australia 3, Wales 0. Wales will surely be looking to try and basically just restart the game right now because it was a terrible start, really. I mean, early knock-on, got thrashed in 2 scrums. Luckily, the first one they pulled back. Then scrum penalty, Australia slotted over. So really, Wales needing to wake up here, but Wales now kicking off. And rugby is on away again. So Evan there just saying, hope Pollard is injury-free and in form. Yeah, I'm hoping that will be the case next year, but otherwise, South Africa just need to make some plans, and they need to prep some fly halves in case that should happen. We can't afford to have one fly half get injured, and suddenly, boom, there's a whole crisis. Can't afford it. You need to build up our other fly halves. Marnie Libok, of course, being one of those that we certainly look at, and there's a huge hit midfield. On Wales, but Wales now attacking, coming through. They split it off to the wing. Can't quite get it through. The ball is around halfway, and Wales have got possession of the ball after Australia had kicked it back to them after the restart there. But Australia now trying to form an attack. They're spreading across the line. They're driving up through the forwards now. Midfield, just on the 10-meter line in the Australian half. Spreading out wide. They're using... Oh, it's a great backline move, but it's hit through the tackle, and Australia trying to go forward. But no, it's knocked on in the tackle, so be another scrum now, just off halfway, Welsh scrum. But a bit more of a better play from Wales, but Australia certainly getting up on them and defending very well, and putting some big hits in. Yeah, as I say, of course, Springboks want all their best players back for next year, but... I'm sure they will be back and they will be fine. We'll manage them fine. But looking at this here, Australia is certainly getting a much better start than Wales. And what will be interesting now is this is a Welsh scrum, so we'll see how this sets because last scrum, Australia completely dominant. It wasn't even a contest, really. So it's a big test for the Welsh front row now to see if they can sort of counter that and come back. So here we go. Welsh scrum, it's set. It's a much better set. They're getting good go forward. Oh my word, they're now creaming the Australian pack, and there you go. Much better scrum. Scrum penalty right now, and they kick the ball out to the wing, and it looks too far, and indeed it is too far, so they'll come back for the penalty from that scrum. So completely switched there. First scrum for Australia, they completely dominated Wales, and now the Welsh scrum completely dominated Australia. So still... Can't make a decision on which pack is going to be more dominant today because both of them just completely thrashed each other for each of their own possession. So Wales opting to go for the line here. It is a bit of a difficult kick, but it's certainly a kickable one. But it's a great kick on the line. And now Welsh have got a very attacking line out close to the Australian try line. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, I see people watching. Please do come and comment. Tell me your score predictions. Tell me anything about today's rugby. What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? Anything rugby related. Let's chat. That's the whole point. Do be commenting all the time. Always going to be reading comments as I watch the game. But of course, watching the game comes first. And Wales win this line out. They try to run it up. They don't opt for the maul. They're running it up midfield. And the forwards are making good ground. They're on the Australian 5 metre already. Oh, it's a knock-on in the chat. Oh, dear. Wales completely stuff up. They try to go too quick. And scrum half knocks it on there. It's a bit poor from Williams. Williams knocking it on there just as he tries to get through in the ruck to try and get quick ball. But great run there from Faletau in the midfield there from the line out. But Wales now trying to get some points on the board. But another scrum now again, but this time Australia's, but on their 5 metre. So big scrum for them. I wonder if Australia will pull out the scrum they pulled out in that first couple of minutes now, or whether it'll be just like the one we saw from Wales. But yeah, old Faletau, of course, massive player, so pivotal for that Welsh side. The scrum far more even. Australia doing well just to get the ball back through. They kick it out. It's good clearance, and yeah, it's just outside the 22. It's about halfway between the 22 and the 10 metre line. So Wales will have another attacking line out. So Australia now just having to do a bit of defence, but don't think they'll be panicking too much. Wales seemingly keen to get going. They're not wasting time in between play here. They're quite keen to keep the rugby going and to keep the game at a pace. So it's good to see, because we have seen a lot of slowed down rugby. Again, they don't opt for the maul. They spread it to the midfield and comes up. They're on the 22. They are running very hard, our Wales. My word, there are some big hits coming in here. The Wales do regather the ball, shift it out. Just outside the 22, Williams takes it up. It's Alun Jones, passes it off. Now it's going to the line. There's a bit of numbers. Oh dear, couldn't get it away. Williams takes it from the scrum again. It's coming through to the centres. They're not managing to make too much ground, but there was a little bit of space there. But Australia doing well to cover it off. And there again, they try to... and it's an advantage to Wales, so that's huge in the 6th phase here. So Wales now with freedom to play what they want to do. So here we might see some interest, and they try it. It's Alun Jones who's running through the midfield. One hand, he passes it off. It's going to go through. Oh my word, what power. That is a brilliant try from Wales. Alun Jones doing brilliantly there to go and support Williams. Williams managed to get through, passed it back to Alun Jones with a bit of space. Alun Jones there with a bit of basketball skills with the ball in one hand, running through there and then managing to find, I'm just trying to clarify, I think it's the centre, I believe it's Hawkins. I'll confirm that now, but I think, and then Hawkins does brilliantly once he receives the ball, and he's being held on by the Australian prop there. I think it's Hawkins, I just want to confirm, but he's being held on and he just drives his legs through and manages to make it to the line to put it over. Is it Hawkins indeed? I will still... No, it's not Hawkins at all. It is in fact Morgan, the loose forward. Yeah, Morgan gets the tries. Brilliant pumping legs there from Morgan to get the ball over. But fantastic response from Wales after those early couple of mishaps in this first opening minutes. So Gareth Anscombe now looking to convert and make it up to 7. But fantastic try from Wales. And you see just what happens when you've got a bit of freedom to play with that advantage. Suddenly teams start to play some very inventive rugby, and it was a great little piece of play from Williams and Alun Jones. And then of course, Morgan coming in to just finish it off. So, yeah. Wales now leading Australia 7 points to 3. That was a brilliant little run from Alun Jones. I'll tell you, it's incredible to see how well he still plays. You know, the most capped rugby player on the circuit. I think he's the most capped rugby player of all time. I just need to clarify that. I'm 90% certain he is. I'm fairly certain he is. I just want to remember. I remember somebody saying that and seeing that game. But you know, and a complete veteran of the sport. And it's amazing how he's still playing so unbelievably well. And Australia do the kickoff again, and almost Wales almost losing it again, but trying to opt for the trying to opt to run through, passing it back into Australian hands, but of course Australia did actually knock it on just at that restart. So it'll come back for yet another scrum. This time Welsh on their 22-meter line. So we're about 12 minutes into this game. Lots of scrums so far, so it's very much a forwards battle. But we haven't seen too much kicking, luckily. So it looks like it's going to be quite a good game of running rugby. It's going to be hard rugby. I've seen some very hard hits going in. And physical game, but I'm hoping it stays this way. It's been quite enjoyable to watch so far. Millennium packed as ever. And the scrum gets going, and this time the scrum again, just like it was last time, a bit more even. Oh dear! And Williams making complete stuff up of it, but Wales somehow managed to regather, but it's gone out for a line out. I don't quite know what happened there. The ball came out, and of course Gordon of Australia managed to take Williams the ball out of Williams' hands, and it was opted to go backwards, and then Wales somehow managed to regather it and then go. Now I keep saying Williams, but I see that Williams has actually already gone off. Now I don't even know where that happened. I do apologise, but Williams has come off. I want to assume it's for a blood replacement or for an HIA or maybe an early injury, but I didn't see it. So it is in fact now Hardy, of course, who's now on. But Australia win the line out, of course, and now they've spread it out to the wide lines in the centre. They're not able to get through, but Australia now having their own attack just outside the Welsh 22. Pass it off midfield. It's the props bringing it up. They're doing well to make some ground. It's regathered. Australia just running hard at the line. Very hard at the line. It's very flat running right now. It's a flat line from Australia. And, it's stuffed up in the end. But they're going to come back for a penalty advantage, I see. I think it was for offside. So penalty right in front of the post, just outside the 22 metres. So I imagine Australia will again go for posts. So, yeah, just a couple of small errors creeping in now. We're starting to see it. Just some knock-ons and some spills and lapses in concentration from the teams. So, certainly a nervous matchup. We see here Australia also looking to make an early sub. Indeed, yeah, here he comes. So, some early injuries again. It's Robertson that's coming on for Australia. And it's for... well, that's not very good. It's the Slipper. Slipper, the captain for Australia, is coming off. Early injury. He doesn't look like he's going to be coming back on either. So that's Australia's captain already gone. 14 minutes into the game, and he's injured and off. And he's replaced by Robertson, who's now going to have to last for the rest of the game because his captain is injured and is walking off. That's not good news for Australia at all. So two early subs for both teams that didn't really want to make. Williams for Wales and now the captain Slipper for Australia is off. So Ben Donaldson here lining up the kick. Got the first one. Successful. It's just in front of the post outside the 22-meter line. And it should be a fairly simple kick. I doubt very much that he's not going to be able to get this over. 3, 2, 1, kicks, and he's over. So, 7-6. Game is relatively even right now. Yeah, a couple of early injuries of both sides, which they were certainly not going to be thankful for. So, we'll add a little bit of a dynamic to the game, and the fact that we've got substitute scrum half for Wales on already. And the Slipper for Australia, their captain. They've also now lost their leader. So now playing with certainly a different sort of captaincy setup than they used to this early in the game. But it's kicked off and Australia received the ball. They gather really nicely. It's a box kick out. And looks like a good kick. It's around about halfway. It's a 10-meter line. It's a good clearance. So Wales now with a line out just inside Australia's half. Just inside. So yeah, an opening 15, 16 minutes. That's been very even. Both sides... testing each other. They're getting points each time they've got got possession though. Each time they've entered opposition half, basically, they do come away with points. So it is interesting. So right now, Wales, of course, with the ball. So let's see if they can convert. They're trying some interesting backline moves. Lots of spinning round and running around players and passing it off. Didn't quite work in the end, but was certainly interesting. Oh, soft hands and a brilliant pickup. Ah, and he's shifted it back into midfield, and Wales still with the ball. I don't know what on earth's happening. It's very messy right now. But they've suddenly regathered. It's Alun Jones is acting as fly half. Wales regathered just outside the Australian 22. They're now shifting the line. Comes to the midfield. It was Hawkins there. But now it's taken out. It's very broken play right now. But now starting to fix it up, and they're forming some lines again. There we go. That was a slow ruck there. So now a bit more of a normal phase. So we're into the 8th phase here. But Wales really trying some interesting maneuvers here. You know, it's not just straight running. They're running around. They're providing different options. Some soft hands, spreading quickly. It's very good rugby so far. So Wales still with the ball. It comes to Alun Jones. Soft hands again. It was a good little run there by Morgan. He managed to make some ground, and there penalty from the. I don't think not running away, says the ref. So penalty to Wales just outside the Australian 22. Again, Alun Jones, just these soft hands. I tell you, it's a backline player in a forward's body. Alun Jones. He does love these little soft hands and interesting little passes and things like that. He's a great player for that sort of thing. But yeah, Australia, they're not rolling away and trying to get over the ball in that ruck. So a penalty to Wales. Wales opting, I believe, for the kick. So yeah, should be able to extend their lead to 10-6. And that'll more or less bring us to halfway into the first half itself. So yeah, please do be sure to comment. Let us know, what are your thoughts of the game so far. Do you see that this is going to continue, this whole back and forth badgering that we're seeing so far? As we see, Anscombe is lining up the kick here. Also hasn't missed a kick yet. So far, I mean, there's been knock-ons and a couple of slips in terms of the ball carrying, but very few missed tackles, and the kicking's been good so far. So all around, some good skills being put on show. So yeah, slots the kick, 10-6. So we move basically. Wales 10, Australia 6. And Australia about to kick the ball off again. Alun Jones is a super athlete. He is indeed. Literally not made from this earth, I think. I think every single team in the world would have loved to have had a player like Alun Jones. He's got such a great understanding of the game. And, Wales receive the ball from the kickoff. It's a very good kick right into the Australian half. I'll tell you something. That's a fantastic kick there. So Albert, you're reckoning that Wales are going to win this just single-handedly due to Alun Jones. I think it's a brave call. But Wales looking a little bit... It's difficult to call. It's very 50-50 right now. But Wales certainly having a bit more possession than Australia. And obviously the scoreline sort of shows the fact that is indeed the case. But Australia messing up the line out, and Wales managing to regather in midfield. So Welsh ball again. And that's hands in the ruck ref. Apparently not straight. We're going to come back. So ref doesn't call it a penalty, but not straight. So it'll be a Welsh scrum just inside the Australian 22. Halfway, just inside the Australian half is what I was meant to try and say. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, Australia now starting to creep in a few small mistakes. I mean, it's not straight, but it's only it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to call not straight, because actually it just sort of goes over in the middle. But Wales lucky there. So scrum in midfield here. Welsh ball. Well, it's not midfield, but it's just inside the Australian half on the 10-meter line. And here we go. Wales doing well to get good forward momentum at the scrum. It's advantage to Wales. Wales now moving forward. They've got freedom to play. They shipped it out to the wing. It's some great running rugby from Wales, and it's just brought down on the far line. They're just outside the 22. So Wales with an advantage right now from the earlier scrum that they just had. So now trying to shift it across. Oh, Alan Jones, beautiful hands through back. But the Wales unable to make use of it. But they're going through it. Another advantage for offsides from Australia. So Wales really moving forward here with a lot of freedom to play. They're shifting quickly, trying to get the ball out to the wing as quick as possible. Just trying to find that space. Ball's brought down just on the wing here. And comes through. Soft hands again. Great run here by Morgan. It's not Morgan. I'd like to say it's Morgan. But it's not. It's Tipperick. And it's come out. Oh, it's a big hit from Australia there. But Wales now find themselves inside the Australian 22. They're spreading out to the white line. It's coming to the wing. He's got space. It's the only. There you go. It's Faletau with the try. They are going to check it. It's Faletau with the try in the corner. But we will have to check because I think it might well be out. But it's fantastic play from Wales. Just doing very well to play that attractive style of rugby. Just passing it along the back, not opting for any weird kicks or just weird things. They're just simply playing it across the line, playing a couple of dummy runners and, coming around, just providing space. And it's just working. Australia finding it difficult to deal with. So just looking here to see whether or not this was out. There's a big man to take down. Faletau misses that tackle, gets through. I think he stays in. It's just his back right foot. And he does get over, So that's a try. There you go. Wales with the try. Boom. 15-6 to Wales. Yeah. So, fantastic work there by the Welsh team. This is a very, very good team try, essentially. Right from far left to the far right, just spreading the line very nicely. Good team play. Some fantastic soft hands. Replays here of Alan Jones. Yes, he is playing very well today. And just looking at the comments here, Albert saying Australia have too many injuries. Yeah, I would agree. It's a very different Australian side than they're used to. A couple of new faces in this team, and yeah, it's currently showing. So this is experienced Welsh side. So they're really showing the colours right now. Wales certainly getting away with it. Australia were with it. It was very even, but now Wales certainly starting to put a front foot forward. And it's quite dangerous for Australia now because it's quite early into the game, of course. Still only 22 minutes in. So Wales could well try and just consistently stay in their half and put some more points on the board. And if they put enough, Australia's going to look at the second half and think this is a very, very difficult game to try and come back into. And it's just going to really demotivate them. So very interesting so far. But meanwhile, we found ourselves Wales 17-6. We've still yet to see a kick that's been missed. Fantastic conversion because it really was right on the line there. So great conversion there by Anscombe. But yeah, Australia now kicking off into the Welsh half. And we will continue again. And it is the try score of Faletau who collects just outside of 22. Well, setting up the ruck. It looks to be a box kick. It is indeed going to be a box kick. And McDermott, well, not McDermott, Hardy there, trying it, but not able to get the ball out. And he's trying it again now. Here comes the box kick. Let's see how good the chase is. Oh, there's a very obvious obstruction there, I have to say, ref, but he's not called it. Meanwhile, the Wales not able to get over the ball, so Australia have the ball midfield. Oh dear, that's not rolling away. So Wales find to give them away a penalty to Australia midfield. But Australia running through, can tap it quickly, he's got space. Fantastic little run there by Gordon, he tapped it, but then, oh dear. The issue with tapping and going is the fact that you do risk becoming isolated, and that's exactly what happened. He passed the ball off, and Wales managed to get over and get the turnover. So, yeah, maybe not such a great decision there by Gordon. He did find a lot of space, but Australia were just not aware to it. They couldn't get there in time. They were very far away. And, yeah, Wales able to get over there. I'm trying to see who it was that managed to get over. Oh, fantastic. It is Lee Halfpenny, the veteran, of course, veteran fullback. Just reading comments there, Evan saying, yeah, the defense looks patchy and under pressure for Australia. It's a bit of a, I mean, they're handling it all right, but the problem is every single time Wales make a run forward, they just manage to make ground. Even though they're making the tackles, they manage to make a few meters each time. And we do see the Australian captain Slipper come back onto the field. So of course, it must have been an HIA, I assume, because I certainly didn't see blood, so it must have been an HIA. But he is back onto the field now, so that should hopefully uplift the Australians to have a bit more leadership back on the field. But Australia, oh my word, Wales meantime coming midfield from the line out in the corner there. Just managed to get through. They're on the 22 for Australia. Now they're coming through. It's Alaman Jones. Oh, he's lost it in the tackle. Australia now with the ball. They're going to try and counter-attack. Australia not able to get the passes away, but it's a ruck set up just inside. Oh, dear. Alaman Jones, for all that we've been praising him, shockingly, unfortunately, loses the ball in possession. Wales were very much on the attack. And Australia were panicking, but managed to now get the ball back. And now it's inside the 22 as they look for the box kick. And the ref has called a halt to play. I don't know what for. We've got an issue here. The ref has stopped play. I have no idea why. The ball has gone forward, so he's going to bring it back for a scrum, I think, since the ball wasn't coming out of the ruck there, apparently. Oh, there's a penalty. I don't quite know. I don't know what the ref signaled for there. But it's a penalty to Wales, right in front of the post. So Australia dealt another bad hand. I need to go back and see what happened there, because I think it's a bit of an odd one. Don't quite know what the penalty was for. I think it was tackling the man without the ball. No arms tackle. That's what it was. No arms tackle there. It was a no arms tackle by McWright of Australia, and that would be the reason why Alaman Jones lost the ball in the tackle. So, yeah, penalty to Wales right in front of the posts after McWright did a no-arms tackle on... it wasn't dangerous at all. It was just on the ball, but there were no arms involved, and as a result, yeah, Wales with the penalty. They should slot this over for 20 points, so Wales really running away with it now. Albert there saying Jones probably gave Wales' team a good talking to like he did for the British and Irish Lions. Only thing is, of course, he isn't the captain, so it'd be a difficult thing for Turmeric to have to handle. You know, you've got one of the most experienced rugby players of all time in Alaman Jones, and then Tipperic's there going, well, I'm actually the captain, so listen to me. But yeah, I mean, it must be great for Wales though to have that sort of level of leadership throughout the team. I mean, you've got Lee Halfpenny in the back there. You've got George North in the middle of the field. You've got Alaman Jones. You've got Tipperick. You've got Faletau as well, of course. Been there and done that. I mean, it's an array of experience in this Welsh side. So they really do have a lot of experienced players to lean on for those younger chaps just to get an understanding. So it's a really nice problem to have. It's a bit like the Springboks at the moment. There's also a couple of really big experienced players as well. But again, tell you what Australia do very well so far in this game is their restarts have been absolutely pinpoint perfect. They've just won the ball back again, and now they are in the attack on the Welsh 22. Every single time, they just put in enough for Australia to compete, and every time they do, they manage to just hit the ball backwards. And Australia with possession, and it's not. Ooh, okay, so the refs been lenient there. I was going to say it wasn't rolling from Wales, but Australia is still in the attack here, just inside Welsh 22 now. And it's Gordon now passing it through to the back line. Backline's trying to find some space. He's broken the tackle. He's shifted out to the wing. And he's tackled. What a fantastic tackle there. Oh, it's a brilliant tackle by Halfpenny. What a brilliant try-saving tackle. I tell you, he doesn't make this tackle. He doesn't... Oh, my word. That's fantastic play there. I'm fairly certain it was Halfpenny. I will confirm. But Australia, they managed to get through the line. They managed to break through the tackle. And it was Halfpenny who had to try and take out the last man as he shifted it to the wing. They made a fantastic tackle. It was a great little run there by Ikitau. He passes it off to his forward in the wing. Oh, it wasn't Halfpenny. I thought it was because I just assumed last man, but it wasn't. It was indeed Morgan, who's having a storm of a game so far for Wales. Or was it Morgan? Because now, oh my word. I swear I saw a 6. It was Morgan. But Halfpenny is down. Currently receiving treatment. And so is an Australian. I can't see who it is. It's somebody in the background there. But Halfpenny getting some attention there. But yeah, some try-saving tackle there by Morgan for Wales. So Wales doing very well to stop Australia scoring there. They had no rights to really stop them at all. But yeah. Nonetheless, it's a very exciting game so far, but Wales do now have a line out on the 5 metre. They win it. They set up the maul. The maul's trying to go forward. And I'm sure that Hardy will take the ball out and box kick. Indeed, he does. kicks it up. The wingers are chasing. It's not gone out. Australia gather the ball midfield. And he's found a big gap. He's trying... Oh, and Wales close it very well with Palatau. Does very well to close it. And Tom Wright there trying to get through. But Australia now shifting across the line. And there's another gap. Again, they just can't get the ball away. So Australia now trying to get some go forward. And trying to get some points on the board, hopefully. Oh, he's trying to find the gap. It's a great run. It's a fantastic run. And he shifts the ball out. Oh, no. It was almost fantastic. It was a great run by one of the new faces in the Australian team, who I cannot say his surname, guys. I apologize. It's one of the longest things I've ever seen in my life, and I'm a South African. You must know how long it must be then. But I'm just gonna nickname him Nawakanitawasa. I still can't say it. Like, I know the name, but I still can't say it. I apologize. Anyway, it's a fantastic run. But Wales get the ball into a ruck, and they manage to get a box kick away. But now Australia back with the ball. And an advantage to Australia, I believe. I think the ref has just signalled advantage. So Australia now attacking just on the wing here, just outside the Welsh 22. Now shifting the ball into the midfield, through the forwards. Gordon taking it up, choosing the blind side yet again. They're finding a bit of space, I tell you suddenly. Wales, this defence is not looking as strong as it was before. Australia finding a few gaps, and they're coming midfield, and they've just gone into the 22 now. Gordon getting there, choosing to use the back line. The back line got a bit of space here. There's space out on the wing, and does not opt to use him. They try to ruck over Wales, but not successful. And again, it's advantage now to Australia, I believe, for offsides. So Australia now with freedom to play, and they shifted into the midfield, and oh my word, and it's a big knock on midfield. So they're going to come back for the penalty. That's just outside the Welsh 22, but it is all the way on the line, so it'll be a difficult kick if Australia opt to go for the kick. I think they might well go for the line. And given the score, I think you might also have to go for the line too. So Australia now doing a lot more attacking, so much more promising for the Australians. Yes, as Albert says, it is a very long name. If I just go and count the letters here, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1. Sorry, I've miscounted. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 letters in a surname, of which there are, I think, 5 A's. So, Nawakanitawasa. I'm going to say it, Nawakanitawasa. It's a very long name. I'm saying it's somewhat along the lines of what it should be. We're gonna nickname him Nawa. Yeah. Or we'll just call him Mark, for namesake. You know, he's my name. We'll just call him Mark. It's a much easier name. One does have to wonder, you know, you've got a surname like that, and then your first name's Mark. Anyway. Oh my word, George North has certainly been in the wars. Bleeding all over the... Well, not quite all over the face, but he's got cuts all over his face. As we've got a water break here. I don't know why we have a water break. Come on, let's play rugby. Please, we want rugby. But Australia now with the penalty, and they're going to be kicking it up for the line, I believe. I don't think they're going for the kick. Yeah, looks to be a line kick. Too early to call to say that Wales look likely to take this. I wouldn't say it's too early to call. I think Australia are coming back into this game, so it all depends on how this period turns out for Australia. But I do think Wales are the more dominant team. But they're just sort of a little bit sleepy in these last couple of minutes with regards to the defence. But yeah, we've got... it is Reece Hodge now putting the ball out. And it's not a fantastic kick given the area it was, but it's still good enough. So it's an attacking line out for Australia from the penalty, just inside the Welsh 22. It's halfway between 22 and the try line. So they can opt for the maul here. So I'll be interested to see if they do, because Wales haven't really. They've utilised the back line each time. So Australia opting for the maul. They back their pack. And the maul is set, and it's advantage to Australia, I think, because it was taking the man out in the air, or at least joining on the side or something. But it's advantage to Australia. The maul is moving forward, but the ball has dropped through. The ref's going to pull it back for the penalty. Yeah. There, Alaman Jones being penalised. Not joining the maul correctly. So Australia with another penalty, and this was a kickable one. Much more kickable, but they still opt for the line. So... Australia needing to get points on the board if they want to try and come back into this game. So It's a big, big, big line out this for Australia now. But yeah, Alman Jones joining, starting to tackle the man as he was coming down still. He wasn't on the ground as he was already making contact with him. Australia win the line out again on the 5 meter. This maul is much better set than the last one. It's moving forward already. And it just needs to come to the back, and it's going to get a lot more go forward. Wales doing well to counter it so far, but I don't think it's going to last very long. Australia getting a bit more forward momentum, but Wales still doing well. It's just going sideways right now. Surely use it or lose it, ref. It's being used. It's going forward a lot more now. And it's stopped on the line. You surely have to use it, ref. But it's going forward just. He's made a dive for the line. I think it's short. The ref cannot make a decision. He doesn't know yet. So the ref's going to go to a TMO decision. The Australians, of course, think it is a try. The Welsh saying, no, it's held up. So he said, who said. So, yeah. We'll see what the TMO decision is. But this is potentially big for Australia to try and get back into this game. It is LOUW with the potential try, I believe. Or it's Faianga, sorry, with the potential try, I think. Yeah, it's Faianga. Funny enough, I don't know if this is a try. He makes the dive for the line, but Wales were very, very well aware of it. Makes the dive forward. I think it's going to be classed as held up, you know, because there's no angle saying that it's obviously a try, and I think the ref says, is it a try or not? If there's no conclusive evidence to say it's a try, they're not going to give it. So I think it might well be held up on the line. It's very difficult to see. There are no angles to use here. Let's just listen. Oh, he's given the try. Apparently as a try. Apparently the CMO certainly saw something I didn't quite see, but he's given the try nonetheless. So Australia back into this game. So great rugby. Well, great maul basically set by Australia there. So Faianga with the try. It was given. It was a bit of an interesting decision to give it so easily, but maybe there was an angle that he had that we didn't see. But Australia now back into it, just with the conversion to come here. So Ben Donaldson lining up the kick. Should be fairly straightforward. Haven't seen a single missed kick so far, so the kicking on display has been very good. Ben Donaldson, yeah, looking to convert this penalty. Well, not this penalty, but this try. And then it brings the game within the tries with, 2013. 22 points to Wales, 13 points to Australia, 7 points the difference. So just a try in it. But Wales, of course, still in the driving seat. I think you'll now well see Wales come back and get some points. As I say, it's been interesting that basically each time that each team has had a little bit of possession, they have scored points off of it. Neither team has squandered their possession. They've made use of it and scored points each time. So Wales now kicking it off, and almost a bit of miscommunication there from Australia, but they managed to regather and get a fantastic kick out into basically the halfway line. So a Welsh line out on the halfway line. He felt sorry for Australia. I don't think the ref necessarily did feel sorry for Australia, but because I don't think anybody feels sorry for Australia. But yeah, indeed, they do score the try. Oh, and Wales opt for the long throw. It didn't quite work. Australia were very, very well aware of it. But Wales still managed with the ball, and a huge hit off there. Oh, and he's just crawling. I'd almost say, that's difficult. But anyway, Wales still with the ball now, coming forward nicely. They managed to regather after that. Almost stuffed up an interesting line-out move. So Hardy here with the potential box kick. It's gone straight up. It's an up and under. Wings trying to get it. They can't find it. Oh, LOUW drops it, but does technically go backwards. So play on. That's not LOUW at all. Sorry. It's Rio Dyer, but now it comes to LOUW. Now they're moving across the line. Wales running very hard. George North going straight into that tackle. Big time. Big contact there. Spurring it again. So Wales now with a bit of possession, and as I say, each time each team has had a bit of possession for a little bit of a period of time, they have managed to get points from it. So let's see if Wales can continue the trend now. They're still only just inside the Australian half, so it's not quite anywhere near attacking territory, but certainly looking to run from here, not looking to do too much kicking. As the ball is here, Australia seem to think they got over it, but no, he's missed the ball. Wales doing well just to drive up to the forwards there. And now looking to use the back line. There's big space on the wing here. Wales running very hard. It runs out. It's a fantastic pass. He's running down the wing. Can he make it? He cuts in. He takes on both. And it's does he? He stretches for the line. I don't know if he gets over. It's come back to the. Oh my word! That's a penalty try. Surely, ref, well, not a penalty try, but I think it might well be a yellow card. The ball's not coming out. I'll tell you what happened now. It's just a lot of play. It's come to Anscombe, who's taken the ball out. But what happened was the wing came onto the line. They tried to shift it back for the ruck, and as they tried to take it out of the ruck, they tried to play the ball out of the scrum half's hands, which is of course illegal. So it might well be a yellow card for Australia coming up here. But Wales still with the ball on the 5 metre of the Australian side. Comes to Gordon. Shifts it out. Oh, it's a huge run from Faletau, but he can't get through. And Hardy, I mean, not Gordon. But anyway, it's just all right on the line now for Wales. Hardy goes himself as a scrum half. Who on earth knows why he does that? Ref has called a stop to play. Says no advantage has been had. I think he knocked it on. I think that's half the reason why. But I do think we're going to see a potential yellow card here for Australia. Yeah, TMO decision. He's going to have to make a decision. We're going to just listen in. Yeah, we're going to check the actions of this Australian scrum half, Australian 9. That being, of course, Gordon. I do believe this is going to be a yellow card to Gordon here. Yeah, that's going to be a yellow card. I think. He takes us. It's an interesting one, actually. Because technically the ball is taken out and he jumps out. But he does play the scrum half immediately. I don't know if it's a little bit lock on. He doesn't really make it a genuine attempt for a tackle. So, yeah, yellow card to Gordon. Indeed, deliberate knock on, I think he's going to give it us. Slipper contesting it. Really not happy about it. The Australians, of course, really, really not happy about it. Yeah, yellow card to Australia. Boom. Gordon off. So, Australia down to 14 men. And there's their scrum half, Jake Gordon, who's going to have to leave the field. Slipper not happy about it, but try to Australia now. Oh, not just try to Australia. What on earth I said that for? But yeah, Wales now with a penalty. They're going to choose a scrum. It's an interesting call because the scrums have been very even. But Wales opting for a scrum on the 5 metre because it's close to it's very close and easy to hit out for a line out, and then you'd have numbers on the wing, so you could just spread it out wide. But I suppose with the scrum, of course, you can do the same thing and even more so. But you have to win the scrum first, where it's far more likely you win the line out. So interesting decision from Wales. But I'm sure they'll capitalise from it. They're quite good at so far this game. They've been very good at converting points. But I'll be interested to see what Wales opt to do because the blind side has got a lot of space. Now it's just off the 15 metre inner line. So here comes the scrum now, and it's immediately gone straight to the floor. So they're going to have to reset that. So yeah. Just reading comments quickly just before we go through. This referee TMO issue is a major waste of time and a major threat to the ultimate success of the World Cup. Also, the complexity of laws and the competency of referees. Well, unfortunately, I don't know what your solution is for that because you do need a TMO to make decisions that the ref can't see. And ultimately, the TMOs... the new thing is that there's an on-field decision a lot more. And they try to utilize the on-field decision a lot more than they used in the past, to try and take away too much onus on staying with the TMO for too long. The issue is trying to make sure that the TMOs themselves understand their role and the refs understand the roles of the TMO. Because I think that's what's been a big problem in this entire series so far, is that there's been a big discrepancy between what a TMO is saying and what a ref is thinking as well. And the issues that arise because of that is that everyone goes and says, well, hang on, but the TMO wasn't really saying what the ref said. And the TMO didn't really have a chance to say something, or the ref was superseding the TMO, or the TMO was seeing something a bit weirdly and advising the ref incorrectly. It's not so much the system that's the issue. I just think it's just been the practice of the system has just been a little bit out of sorts lately. But they tried to take another scrum, and Wales win a penalty on the scrum, so they'll just opt to take another scrum, I'm sure. So if they get another scrum penalty, you might well see another card head towards Australia's way. Maybe that's Wales thinking, but there haven't been too many scrum penalties, so it's going to take a while for the ref to have to start talking to Australia for that. But Wales opting for yet another scrum, but only the first scrum penalty that's just been awarded to Wales, so we'll see what happens now. We keep watching over here the old the Welsh winger Rio Dyer, because they reckon the ball's going to come to him. They think he's going to score the try, obviously. We see the scrum get reset again. This is a much better set. Wales seem to have the go forward, but this is an unstable scrum. It's another penalty to Wales. So the ref might well have to go and speak to Australia here and say, listen, we've got to get our heads into the game here. Certainly not in yellow card territory, I wouldn't think. But it is on the 5-meter line, of course. Yeah, Evan, I do agree. You know, I can expect human error from a referee, but from a TMO, they've got to do a lot better than, 90% of their decisions need to be correct. The issue, of course, with the TMO is that they're fully reliant on TV angles. And sometimes you just don't get a fantastic angle. And it does happen a lot more than you think. So, sometimes you do feel for the TMO, but it's a really difficult decision to make, and the ref has asked for a decision to be made. And you're going, well, I've got to choose one. And that's why often the ref... That's why TMOs do prefer an on-field decision, because if they hear an on-field decision, if it's too close to call, they just say, well, stick with the on-field decision. If they get asked, try yes or no, TMO often goes, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Not happy now. Another scrum penalty just to Wales there. Australia just completely stuffing up, and Slipper being called to the ref now, being chatted to. He's saying, listen, we've got to actually do better now. So I think we might well now see a yellow card to Australia, because there's 3 scrum penalties in a row. In a very short space of time as well, because these scrums are being reset very quickly. I mean, we've got 3 reset scrums in only a minute, which is not bad, actually. But coming to another scrum now, we are, of course, past the halfway point in this game. It is technically half time, so we are into extra time here. So Wales, if they win yet another penalty, I think they're going to try and... I think they might well keep the ball in the scrum just to try and win a scrum penalty and just force that yellow card on the Australians. I mean, personally, if they're able to try and do that, I would opt for that. But it's a much better scrum for the Australians now, so Wales will have to take this ball out. It's Faletau. He shifts it out to the scrum half. Oh, my word, Hardy does not get over. It's going to be held up. It's easily held up, and that's going to be half-time. So Australia do very well to survive there. Australia doing very well to survive, yeah. And they're going into half-time, 20 points to 13. Wales in the driving seat, I would say. Wales certainly the better team in the first half, but Australia not out of it. Only a try behind. So 7 points in it. Wales 20, Australia 13. And yeah, we'll catch you for the second half. Do be sure to join. Do be sure to go and predict. Read the descriptions, etc., etc., etc. It explains all the various things you can do. You can predict to win with Betcloser. You can go and watch for free with ExpressVPN. But yeah, we will continue in the second half. It's been a good game so far. But yeah, I will catch you for the second half. Till then.
We took many years ago, when I said to you we would never grow old. Messages I've saved that I never send, cause I don't know you, but I used to back then. I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time. In the back of your car we passed out counting stars. Promised all these years we'd pack our things and disappear. I never thought I would see you here after all this time. Found yourself a way out of this small town. Got a place at school you didn't hang around. Every day you're far away. And if I lost my mind, would you come around? I will keep you safe and sound after all this time.
Back to the sound. sound, back to the sound.
I need inspiration, don't need no validation, no more medication, just try some meditating. I don't need you to save me, feel like all of you hate me. Everything's been so hard with all the situations lately. I just need to numb the pain for a minute. I just wanna run away on vacation. I don't know what else to say now. I just need to numb the pain. Well, maybe I'm done, maybe I've lost. Still putting up a fight because I love my mom, I love my family. When I was young, they would all look after me. I don't know why, but I feel like a burden. I spent my life overthinking my purpose. I can't really cry, I'm so used to the hurt. Trauma keeps up at me at the wrong moment. Oh, I just wanna numb the pain for a minute. I just wanna run away on vacation. I don't know what else to say now. I just need to numb the pain. To numb the pain for a minute. I just wanna run away on vacation. I don't know what else to say now. I just need to numb the pain. A broken glass while I'm thinking in my head. I mind my own, I don't even break a sweat. Oh, matters is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hear the lights under the street lights, under the street lights. Untold stories, they were left behind. Silent breeze, I got nothing on my mind. This madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hear the lights under the street lights, under the street lights. rise up from the ashes, wings on my back, stay lit like a matchstick. We ain't coming back, I swear. Just let go and see what happens. Gotta let go to see the magic happen. They got us a quick change, so we like them in phase. I'll just buy a new watch, time to make my wrist ring. The zero gravity keeps elevating me.
Right, and so we are back. Yeah, so first half over for Wales versus Australia. Wales with 20 points, Australia with 13. Wales just run back out onto the pitch. They're just waiting for the Australians as well. Yeah, so just to conclude for the first half, really, I think it's Wales with a bit more of the upper hand. Of course, the scoreline shows that, but just generally in the way in which they were playing, it was certainly far more in Wales' favour. And in terms of their running rugby was really good to watch. Australia just coming lucky with a, not lucky I suppose, but certainly they managed to get back some points, which I don't think they were thinking they were going to get anytime soon in terms of a more controversial-ish, more penalty. I mean, TMO said it was grounded and therefore they gave the penalty, but I must say it was very difficult to see. So I don't know if the TMO got a different angle on it, but yeah, we're about to kick off the second half now, but Australia certainly ending that that first half on a very big high, with somehow managing to not concede a penalty with 14 men on the field. They still only have 14 men, of course. Gordon with a yellow card for his deliberate knock-on when Wales were right on the line. Just going through the comments here, somebody saying that how can he give 3 penalties and no card? Well, the only reason why is because, well, the 3 penalties were really the first ones that were problematic. I mean, there weren't too many problems with the scrums so far in this game. So it would be a bit harsh just because you're on the line to suddenly go, oh, you know, this. And they did get a talking to after that 3rd penalty. They said, right, this is your final warning. Another penalty, and it'll be a yellow card. And all that happened was they didn't give away another penalty. So it works in their favour. But anyway, moving to the second half. Let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen in the second half? Do we think that Australia are going to come back into it? Do you think Wales are going to score some more tries? Of course, Australia starting the second half only with 14 men. Gordon still with his yellow card for that deliberate knock-on. So will Wales be able to capitalise and get some points on the board to really basically just end Australian hopes in this game and end their tour rather on a sour note, because it's not been a fantastic tour for Australia, one must say. I mean, when I say not a fantastic tour, it's been horrible. Let's be honest. It's been a horrible tour for Australia. But anyway, there, Dylan saying the Wales versus Argentina is what score betting says. Well, I do apologise for that. I cannot fix that, but I will get somebody on that ASAP. But just imagine for Australia, it's the same thing. It won't be for you against you in terms of the score betting and the predicting. So Australia won a penalty. Meanwhile, in the game, actually, on just behind the halfway line. So this is a mammoth kick that needs to be had here. And it's Reece Hodge, I believe, who's going to have a punt at this. Is it? Yeah, Reece Hodge indeed. So Reece Hodge is having a punt at what looks to be a 55-ish meter kick. It is a big kick. Does he get it over? Here we go. It's got the distance. Does it have the distance? It's got the distance. Oh, it's off the bar. Oh my word, it hits the post. Fatatau recovers, passes it back to, I have no cooking clue, but they kick it out and it's gone about the halfway line. It was a brilliant kick from Hodge. Had the distance, but just came off the side of the post there. My word, almost a brilliant kick by Hodge. Now that would have really kick-started their second half, but unlucky there. Good to know, Dylan. I'm glad you got your predictions in. I'm going to have a look at them later, and we'll see who's going to get close. So Australia now with the line out just inside Wales half now. Obviously, Australia playing from right to left now. And this maul is being set up, and the maul is moving forward. The ref has said once, though. They've got the ball out, though. They've shifted it out into midfield, and now they're setting up phases. And here comes... yeah, it's just coming in the midfield there. So we see Australian fly half of... Donaldson there's acting as scrum half in the second half whilst Gordon is off. Pretty much just sharing the scrum half duties really, Australia right now. But driving the ball up nicely. They're holding on to possession, so they're going to try and do this for as long as possible, of course, with that yellow card. Just try and just eat some minutes away. So they're just going to keep it close quarters. They're not going to look to spread. Oh, my word. Huge spill in the middle. And Adam Jones gets the ball after that knock-on. And Wales themselves then knock on after the ball back to Beard. And Beard could not hold on to the ball from Adam Jones' pass. So 2 knock-ons there. So we come back for the Australian knock-on first. So therefore Wales scrum. But this is a shocking... Oh, my word. It was just completely... He didn't know what was happening coming towards him. Old Holloway didn't go for the ball and came straight past him, so he thought no, he was going to leave it for I think it's Alatoa who should have taken the ball, but completely didn't even see it. Just came off him, knocked on. So Albert, I'm assuming you predicted 2020 then. If you're saying 1 converted try for Australia, and your prediction is good. I'll tell you what, if there's a draw at the end, I don't think there's many people who are going to be predicting a draw. So you'll likely be a winner regardless of what the score is if you call it a draw. But, you know, maybe other people should decide to go for a draw now as well. I don't know. Do let me know in the comments. Go and do participate in those predictor, the predictor score game. As we got the scrum in Australia, got a huge scrum push on them. But somehow it's a penalty to Wales. And the ref's going to give a yellow card. As a result, he did give them a final warning from the first half. So he's going to give us yellow cards straight away. Oh dear. Australia not starting the second half particularly well anymore now. As we see Tom Robertson, the sub for Slipper, he's gone off with a yellow card because obviously the warning comes across both halves. So Australia now down to 13 men temporarily. And the Australian coach not looking particularly impressed with life. But you can't as an Australian argue that because there were 3 scrum penalties straight in a row right on the half time. And he warned him, he said, this is your final warning in terms of the scrum. And what was the first thing that happened? They have a scrum in the second half now, 4 minutes into the second half. And boom, Australia with the penalty against them. And therefore, gone. Cheers. Yellow card. Beep, off you go. So, Australia now really going to have to deal. And they're going to have to bring on the other prop if they should opt for another scrum. Because I'll tell you what's going to happen as a result is they're going to have specialist replacements. So Australia really going to be under the cosh now for the next few minutes. As Wales put it out, it was not a fantastic kick if I'm honest, just into the Australian half. But I tell you what, there will be a lot of space to play with now for this Welsh team. So hopefully Wales will capitalise, but Australia will need to put some big defence up to counteract this, of course. So Wales win the line out, and they opt for the maul, which they haven't done all day, and it's moving forward at a rapid pace. I tell you. That was on the 10-meter line. They're approaching the 22 in quick fashion here. Australia probably going to be taken up, and it's taken down illegally, so it's therefore an advantage to Wales. Wales with freedom to play. Lots of space as well. Driving out the midfield. It's passed off. It's soft hands. Oh, dear. It's taken down the midfield, and it's going to be called. Yeah, they called back for the penalty. Yeah. It was spilt there, unfortunately, by Dyer of Wales. So, ref comes back for the penalty nonetheless. Wales will probably put this out in the corner of his game and try and maul it over because the maul was working very well there. First time we've seen the maul today from Wales. It is Anscombe who's going to put the ball out. So yeah, Australia really need to try and recover from this position because it's really not going very well for them now. Again, kickers could have gone further. Let's put it that way. Anyway, 15 meters to the try line for this line out. Adam Jones approaching there. He might well be lifting up Beard or somebody along those lines, or maybe himself will be lifted up for this. And they're going to get the maul going. Indeed. He lifts up captain. Turmeric goes up, and the maul is moving forward at a rapid pace, and it's advantage to Wales. It's already on the 5 meters. It's moving so quickly. It's over the line. Oh my word, 15 meters, and they managed to get there in about 10 seconds. It was a brilliant maul. Fantastic try. And I think at the end, it's actually old Morgan who scores it. I'll confirm. But yeah, fantastic maul try from Wales. And Australia just couldn't cope with it. They didn't have the numbers to cope with it. No scrum half, no prop. And you're just never going to be able to have the power to cope with that. You know, it is indeed Jack Morgan with the try. So Wales starting the second half fantastically. And Australia really now lost for words. Of course, with 2 yellow cards behind their name, it's never going to help. Yeah, fantastic little maul there. Australia could not stop it. I mean, it just started moving, and they literally started moving from the go. And Australia just, for some reason, couldn't bring it down and just motored forward. And I do mean it motored forward. That was Springbok-esque in terms of how quickly it moved forward. So, yeah, well done to Wales. They're, of course, obviously mauling against a much weaker pack in Australia. But still, don't discredit it. So now, conversion to come. Conversion successful from Anscombe again. We've not missed this. Well, we have missed now a kick from Reece Hodge, but that's been harsh because it was a very difficult kick to get. But yeah, 27 points to 13. Wales in the lead yet again. So the Welsh coaches, they're looking much more pleased with their team because again, it's not been a fantastic tour. Well, incoming tour, I suppose, for Wales. But so far, really getting all over this Australian team. As we do see, Gordon comes back on for Australia. So one of the yellow cards back. So Australia only down 14 men now instead of 13. But Wales did make them pay. So we'll see if they can make them pay again. Because if I'm Wales, I'm opting for a scrum every single time now. Because now Australia are clearly not able to put it up. It was a very even scrum for most of the game, and then just right at the end of the first half, suddenly Wales were getting a lot more go forward. And again, Wales opting for a maul from the restart, and it's motoring forward. It's advantage again to Wales. I think Australia might have to get a talking to here, And this maul is moving forward to the halfway line from almost the 22 line. It's over the halfway. They're still going forward. I think they collapsed themselves now. There'll still be an advantage to Wales. They spread it to the line. They're spreading across. Soft hands, no. They're trying to take it up midfield through, I think it's George North there, perhaps, or not. It's not George North. Anyway, they try to go the opposite way again. It's come to Faletau on the wing. He passes it off. It's Dyer. Dyer's getting completely taken out, yeah, and it's gone out for a line out. But it is a penalty again. They'll come back for the penalty to Wales. I tell you, this maul is suddenly really working for Wales. And they only employed it when they got the yellow card, the second yellow card for Australia. So maybe this is something they should have been employing much earlier, because tell you something, I know it's a weakened maul when you've got one less player, but it really shouldn't be that much weaker. So Australia really struggling to handle this Wales Wales maul. So Wales surely going to opt to kick it out on the line out again. And I'll tell you something, Australia might well be warned yet again, because penalties are racking up very quickly, even after the 2 yellow cards. And this wall is set up there. It's a fantastic take from Beard. And they just suddenly go hell for leather. I mean, just outside the 22. The advantage was given on the 10-meter line. And they drive it past the halfway. I mean, that's a full 25-meter maul from a restart. It's unheard of almost. It's a fantastic play from Wales. But for some reason, opting to slow it down a little bit. I think there was an injury there for the Australian player. But Wales certainly now, with the tails up and Australia not being able to find the answers at the moment, they're looking a little bit shell-shocked right now. Lots of very concerned faces. It's not going very well for them right now. So in comes the line out. They set up the maul again. It's well set. Australia try it. Well, they're spun badly, and now the maul's going to start motoring forward again, and an advantage to Australia, to Wales again. And this maul is motoring into the 22. It is eventually taken down, unfortunately. I don't think legally, so it's another advantage to Wales. And they're approaching now. They're spreading it across the line. They choose to go to the kick. It's a bit far. He's going to... Yeah, it's not. It's going to be a penalty. But I think the ref might well have to speak to Australia now. Because that's 4 or 5 quick penalties since another yellow card. Surely you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to talk. They are indeed talking to Australia. They're saying, hey, listen, there's a lot of penalties being had here. So... I think Australia on yet another final warning. So, really not a great start to the second half for Australia. Wales opting to go for the line. Of course, this maul is just moving rapidly forward. I've never seen a maul this dominant against the team before. And I grant, again, Australia's got a yellow card in that forward pack. However, the amount of space that they are just able to move into as a result of these mauls, it's ridiculous. It's like there's nobody standing in front of them. They just get the ball, they go down, they just motor forward. It's literally like a car just going into first gear and going, right, we're getting going. It's ridiculous. So Australia opt to make a sub because I think they can see there's a big problem. So Gleeson's come off for Australia. And I think it's Pete Samu who's come on in his place. So let's see if this substitution can sort of halt Small a little bit more. But yeah, the line out now on the 5-meter line after that penalty. It's Adam and Jones who goes up. They set up the maul. It's well set again. Australia trying to move it forward. Use it once, surely, ref. The maul's not moving forward as quickly as it did before. It's halted. Australia doing well so far, but it is starting to move forward now. Starting to gain a little bit of forward momentum, but the ball is taken out. So they managed to at least finally defend against that maul. It's taken up by Dyer. So now comes to Hardy. Hardy tries to shift the ball out. It's Adam and Jones, the veteran, who drives it in. Hardy again. Oh, there you go. It's almost obstruction there from Dylan Lewis. Wales just on the 5-metre line of Australia. Comes to George North. George North not able to go anywhere. It's not rolling technically, ref. I'd borderline say it's not rolling, but anyway. Driven up again. Hardy now with the ball. Shifts it off. Oh, I thought that was better. It's not. There's space in the wing here, and indeed, Dyer over. Easy try for Wales. Boom, boom, boom. Tell you, Australia cannot handle it right now. Australia really, really struggling. They're under the cosh. This could get quite ugly if Australia don't fix it, because it's now already 32 points to 13. And with a conversion to come, and Anscombe's kicking says that it's likely to go over again. I tell you something, this Australian side is seriously, seriously rattled. I cannot believe how rattled they are. I mean, it's only one yellow card right now they've been playing with. They just can't handle it at all. Like, at all. It's shocking, really. They really need to just get together and just have a chat and say, listen, guys, let's get our heads in the game. Because Wales are finding it so easy to get past this Australian side. Yeah, tell you. It's a bit like watching Springboks versus Italy in the second half last week. Only this is Wales against Australia. You wouldn't expect that from Australia. So, yeah. I think Wales could very easily run away with this. This could be like 50 points almost if they don't slow down now. The Australian team, I mean, for all that they've got together to try and talk about it, they all just look like they're shell-shocked. Don't even look like they're trying to get motivated for this. They're just like, what on earth's happening? They really need to get their heads in the game. So Anscombe's kick here. Gonna see if it goes over. Oh, it's a fantastic kick. 34 points to 13 now, Wales. It's a beautiful, beautiful conversion. I tell you, Anscombe's kicked very well today. It's a great try from Dyer. It was as easy as anything, though. He had all the space in the world. Just had to simply dot it down. But Wales, yeah, all over Australia. So, yeah, let me know in the comments. Can you actually believe how easily Wales are finding space? And how easily they managed to completely destroy this Australian side? Because if there's any sides you want to look at in terms of how well you should play when you've got a yellow card on your team, I'll tell you something. For all that there's a lot of controversy and a lot of people outside of South Africa don't enjoy them, the Springboks are probably the best team in terms of handling yellow cards. When they've got a yellow card on behind their name, the number of points they concede, very few. It's unbelievable. And I think Australia need to take notes because they have been shocking since they've received these yellow cards. Don't know how they've been so bad. It's one yellow card right now and they've conceded, I mean, numerous penalties, numerous mauls, a try or two. That's just been shocking. They are not in this game at all in the second half. On the restart now, Wales kicking the ball out of there just outside the 22. Comes to Australia with a little bit of possession. The best thing they can try and do is try and run with the ball a little bit now and just try and get a bit more confidence. Because I'll tell you something, they've not had this ball in the second half, basically. They're shifting it very well across the line. The issue is they do not have the numbers. They're trying to break the tackle midfield, but it's come halfway. It's coming up again. Australia not really making too much movement. George North is very much on the off his feet there, but luckily the ball comes through. Australia trying to get up into the Welsh 10-metre line. And Australia have made a few subs. McDermott is on. And Australia opt to kick it. Well, what are you... Oh, it's a shocking decision from Australia. Well, there's a big injury midfield from Anscombe. Anscombe's really not happy. He looks like he's done his shoulder. I think he's off. He's really not happy. He's wreathing in pain. Anscombe looks very unhappy. I think this is an immediate sub. That's very upsetting. Let's just see where it comes from. I think he tries to make the tackle. Oh, he goes in. And yeah, I think the shoulder pops. He's very unhappy. I think Anscombe's off. Just going back to the comment here. And this match is over. Just damage control now. Wow. I don't know if they're going to be able to even control the damage the way they're playing. Oh dear. Anscombe really... Yeah, he does the shoulder. He's definitely off. There's no ways he stays on. If he stays on, I'm like... I will... No. He is very, very easily off. He goes into that tackle very badly. Well, I mean, he doesn't go into too badly, but you can just see as soon as the shoulder makes contact with the leg, it just more or less, you can just see him completely fold his arm. And then indeed, there's Dan Bigger who's going to be coming on in this place, of course. The ever-present Dan Bigger. But yeah, Anscombe definitely off. There's no ways he's going to come back on. So very upsetting end to his Autumn Nation series, because he's played quite well, old Anscombe. But yeah, Dan Bigger now coming on for him. We're 54 minutes into this game. Wales 34 points to Australia's 13. Somebody wants Australia to lose. I'll tell you something. I'm just reading the comment. Wales, you could easily make a 50. Well, I mean, it's written in a certain way. I'm just trying to read it and make sense of it. Wales, you could easily make a 50-point, I assume, these convicts and put 50, make a 50 and put these convicts out of their misery. Okay, I understand now. Sorry. Well, the problem is, I mean, Australians can't really complain about being called convicts, because unfortunately that's where you basically are. History obviously shows. But anyway, just all banter here, of course. But yeah, there's no reason why Wales can't put 50 past them. The way Australia are playing the second half, it's quite possible. But yeah, unfortunately, Anscombe is off. It's a very, very bad way to end the game, because suddenly he's been playing brilliantly. It's a shame he's going off. He's having immediate oxygen for that arm. His shoulder is not happy. He's it's got it wrapped already. He's getting support. He's off. Dan Bigger on in his place. Let's see how Dan Bigger plays now, because Anscombe, and what he's been very impressive with has been his defensive work, actually, which is not usually something you say about a fly half too often. But Dan Bigger, of course, not known very well for his defense. We will see how he handles this now. Australia get the ball after that it was claimed in the 22. So with the restart there, Wales, almost messing it up. Halfpenny's completely gifting almost a free try, but Dan Bigger managed to recover very well for Wales. He turns, but he's going to be dragged over his line. It's going to go over. I think, oh dear, that's not good. It's fantastic play from Australia, but Halfpenny goes up. He completely misinterprets where the ball's going to land, misses it, and then Australia come through and they kick it. I think it's Samu, it's Reece Samu, I think, who tries to kick the ball forward and then takes Bigger after he tries to recover. It's not Samu who takes Bigger out. It's indeed Lachlan Lonergan. But now it's a scrum now. We're on the Welsh line. And it's an Australian scrum, so suddenly out of absolutely nowhere, Australia have got a scrum on the Welsh line. So this could be the kick that Australia need to come back into this game. And of course now they do have the yellow card back, so it is 15 against 15. It's a good scrum from Australia. They're making a lot of movement forward. They're going to try and scrum it over. I think it might be a scrum penalty if they don't get it over. Scrum penalty? No? Not a scrum penalty? Ooh, they had a huge hit on Wales there. Wales could not put up with that. So Australia will win the scrum penalty. And they were motoring forward. It could well have been a penalty try. I'm surprised the ref didn't call it immediately, because they were moving forward so much that surely anything illegal is going to immediately stop a try. Therefore, professional foul. Therefore, penalty try. I don't know. Ref deems not so. Bit harsh. Yeah, it's a good thing, as Evan says, the good thing is Australia's last game of this tour, because, as you say, if they had another game next week, they'd be fielding juniors. Because really, they've got so many injuries in this team. And as I say, that's one of the reasons why they've suddenly been stuck for 34 points. But meanwhile, anyway, they're on the attack again from that scrum, trying to shift it out. It's Samu who tries to take it up, not able to. McDermott passes it off. It's the yellow-carded player back on of Robertson, who tries to go up. Australia now looking to the line. They spread it's the wing. It's the wing, and is it a try? Definitely grounds it. I think he might be out. I think he tries to drag his legs out. They'll have a look at this. TMO will have a look. Think it's an on-field decision trial. On-field decision try indeed. I'm just going to check the touch, basically. Otherwise, all is good. So we'll see if this is Australia's turnaround point. Because these legs do suddenly wrap around right at the end. And he does pull the leg down. And that's a try, I think. Try indeed. So yeah. Australia managing to get a point, get a try back against the Welsh. Of course, they've still got a way to go. But it's a little bit of a lifeline for Australia. Good little backline move there. And it's scored by, as we agreed earlier, people. As we agreed earlier, Mark. But I'll try and say his surname again because, oh my word, it's very difficult. But it's Nawakani. Yeah, that one. Number 11. Number 11 for Australia. But yeah, he has actually been playing fantastically today, I'll tell you something. He has really shown some great promise, and I think Australia's got quite a decent wing in this man. So, one to watch for the future, surely. As somebody saying in the comments there, this Australian number 11 is something special. I tell you, he's played very well today. He's been the shining light out of this very grim Australian side, if I'm honest. So, yeah, we'll see how his future pans out. Of course, a very young player still. But we see a sub has been made here for Australia. It's Noah Lolesio, sorry. He's coming on. I think he's taking... Is he taking the kick? No, he's not taking the kick. Is he taking the kick? What is happening here? Are we making this conversion? Are we doing this conversion? What's the issue here? The ref is waiting on something. What are we waiting for? Has the TMO called for something back? Well, I don't know what's happening here. That try's good. Apparently they were trying to check something. The TMO was asked to check something. But try's good, so they're going to kick it over now. Bizarre why we waited for that. But anyway. So yeah. Australia now with a very difficult conversion attempt. Quite important that they get this over, because if they get this over, it's only 2 tries. If they don't, it's 3. So, yeah. In terms of Australia's attempt to try and recover this game, it's going to be a very difficult kick and a very important kick for them to get over. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Does he get it over? Yeah, no, pulls it. Sorry. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Australia are now going to need to score 3 times, of which 2 of them tries converted to get just to level with to get to Wales' score basically. So, not easy. As Evan says, yeah, he's a new face in the Australian side, the number 11 of Mark. I'll try it again. Nawakani Tawasa. That one almost sounds Japanese. I mean, I'm not taking anything away culturally, guys, but I'm just saying it's the way it's got the... I said, this is the way I'm saying it. I might be saying it. I'm sure I'm butchering it completely, but... yeah. So anyway, we get our restart going. But he's a promising player for Australia. People saying that Australians got a whole lot of excuses, but I mean, you know, in fairness, people, what you got to realise for that you say Australians make all these excuses. Don't try and act as if the Springboks are different, because when the Springboks, oh my word, charge down. Sorry, I'll come back to that. You know, Springboks, we made a lot of excuses when we had big injury problems in I think it was 2018 or 2019, one of those years. It was 2018, I think we had big injury problems, and we made a lot of excuses for those losses as well. And look, we've got quite a lot of injuries at the moment as well, which some of us are making excuses for, but not nearly as much, of course. So don't get me wrong, we should never be making excuses on behalf of our national teams. I don't think Australia are making too much noise, to be fair about it. But yeah, just Australia managed to recover there from a charge down. But yeah, kicks the ball out now. Wales with the ball inside the Australian half. They're running forward as Lee Halfpenny with a lot of movement. He gets taken out quite hard after the pass was made, but it was technically legal. Oh my word! And Wales just not able to convert there. And it's going to be a scrum now to Australia. It's just a knock on there in their attack. They tried a little blindside maneuver. It didn't quite work. It was certainly looking interesting though. But yeah, 60 minutes have passed. Please be sure to go and predict the score for the end yet. There's currently 34 points to Wales, 18 points to Australia. Go and play our predict a game. I think, I don't know what time it closes. I think it closes at some point, of course, because you can't just have somebody, you know, right at the end. But I think this is the last time you can make a score prediction. I think so. Be sure to go and quickly go and predict the score with our partner Betcoza If you go and get that prediction in, you could potentially win a free bet with Betcoza, one of our partners of Forever Sports. And if you are on this thing and you're wondering how you can try and watch the game, again, description, you'll find a video there that explains exactly how you can do it for free with our other partner, ExpressVPN. I've just noticed that's the only issue. I keep looking down, that my chair has decided to break, which is very upsetting. Well, not quite break, but split on my my wrist, which is very upsetting. Half penny, I think it is, or I think there's half penny up. And the big stuff up there. Kick the ball out on the full. So Australia now with an attacking line out just outside the Welsh 22. So Australia potentially going to try and come back into this game. The 15 is not Josh Adams, no. It is indeed Lee Halfpenny, apparently. Well, I actually confirm that for you. I think this thing might be wrong. I'll confirm this for you. I think it is incorrect, yeah. I don't know why, because I must say, I was looking at it thinking, but the halfpenny is, yeah, it's bizarre. This, because it is a bit bizarre. But, anyway. Oh no, you know what it is? It's halfpenny's come off. I think, no, it's not. Halfpenny's not playing. I don't know why it's got this all as an issue. Anyway. Yes, it is indeed Josh Adams. As I say, you are completely correct. It is definitely Josh Adams. I was just having a look now. I was thinking, because I wasn't looking at his face, but the thing is, I'm looking at the official lineups, and for some reason it's got Halfpenny in the 15 shirt, but that wouldn't make much sense, would it? So yeah, it is indeed Josh Adams, which would make a lot more sense because I was thinking it looked a bit of an odd player. Yes, you are completely correct. But Wales now with an advantage from a scrum penalty halfway line and passing the ball out to the outside here. Australia trying to recover within their 22. They might well come back for the penalty. No, they don't, because it's come out on the 5-meter line for Australia. I think he took the ball out, in which case this is going to be a 5-meter line out for Wales. So yeah, there we go. But what I will say with regards to the halfpenny in the 80s, no, there was a halfpenny very recently that played for Wales. I think he still plays every now and then, of course. But yeah, Wales now with an attacking line out on the Australian line, and given how well the maul has been recently, I'm very intrigued to see how this could play out. They set up a different maul. It's very, very interesting. Australia potentially bring it down legally. No, they do take it down legally. Oh my word, the ball spills outside the tackle, and oh my word. Old Hardy makes a dive for the line, but doesn't get there in time, so Wales just setting up now. It looks to be potentially Alun Jones. No, they're trying to drive it over the line. Going to use forward power and forward momentum. Passes it off. That's a good run. Nope, it's still there, just a rack. No, ref's caught something. Oh, we've got a knock on apparently. The referee on the sideline has seen a knock on from Wales. So Australia get away with one there. Yeah. So Australia now with their own feed to the scrum on their own 5-meter line. Yeah, so just about 65 minutes into this game, and Wales still very much in the front foot. But yeah, Australia just showing a little bit more fight now, because I'll tell you that the first 15-20 minutes of the second half were shocking for Australia. Now, however, I do think Australia are about to be under the cosh a bit more now again, because they have made a lot of subs already to try and counteract it, and now Wales are making theirs. And looks like to be some big front row subs. It's been a hell of a day for this man, yeah. It is, I believe it's Ken Owens who's coming off now. It's had a storming game. I think it is indeed, yeah. So he's had a fantastic game, old Ken Owens. So he's coming off now. But it's interesting now, the scrum on the 5-meter line, Australian feed. Australia's scrums haven't been too good today, but this one has gone down. And yeah, we're not going to call anything. Apparently both players went down, so they're just going to let it play. Australia do manage to get out of there. They set up the ruck just outside their 5-meter line. McDermott looks to pass to the back. And ball is not going to be kicked out, I don't think. Stays infield, indeed it does. Josh Adams now is running forward with a lot of momentum and just does get taken out, unfortunately. And it's well rucked there by Wales originally, and then comes out and does very well eventually to get that ball out, because Australia were doing quite well to counteract that ruck. Oh, it's an interception, but he unfortunately tips and falls. It's an interception from Australia, but he does have to slide, so Wales managed to get back and make the tackle. But now Australia kick it in behind. But why did they kick it? Because there was somebody there. Wales now kicking it straight back to the Australian half and sending them all the way back to their 22. And yeah, Australia now going to have to rebuild from their 22-meter line. They kick it. It's held in midfield. It's a shocking kick. And now I think this is Dan Bigger now with the ball. No, it's not. It's good question. I don't know who it is. Anyway, it eventually comes into Falatau, now takes it out of the ruck midfield. Goes to Beard. Beard shifts it all the way out. We've got a prop, and now we've got it out to the wing. And Wales trying to come through. Oh, my word. I think there's a knock on somewhere there, or is it out? Yeah, the ball has gone out. So Wales, unfortunately, running out there. So it's going to be an Australian line out just inside their half, around the halfway line. So, yeah, very, very close there. Oh dear. Will the TMO... Yeah, they're going to have a TMO decision. I think Timberwick's about to see a yellow card because the intercept from Australia, as he got the ball, Timberwick saw it very early and just stuck his foot out and tripped him. I was wondering why, he suddenly just fell and slid, and that's why they were able to get back. But I think this is going to be a yellow card to Timberwick. You can't be doing that. He intercepts and Timberwick just puts his foot out. Oh, it's very deliberate. It's very, very deliberate. It's not for good viewing. Yep, yellow card. There you go. Captain of Wales is off. Oh, dear. So it's going to be a penalty now, I'm sure, to Australia. But will they not be assessing the fact that it should be a penalty try? I don't know. Maybe it's a bit too far. You can't necessarily say he wins that foot race. But, yeah. That's not gone... I'll tell you what, it's certainly not a red card. Red cards are for exceptionally dangerous play or things along those lines. It's a yellow card. It's a professional foul, essentially. There's a professional foul. It's a deliberate try-saving, well, not try, well, I suppose it is try-saving piece of play that is illegal. So it's by definition a yellow card. But it's very stupid play from Timberwick. But at the same time, I suppose if he's trying to save that try, you do that. But I don't know if he was thinking he could maybe get away with it. But yeah, certainly not. Anyway, Australia with the interesting line-out move, and it comes through, and it's none other than the man himself again. He's done it twice now. Fantastic little line-out move there. They shift the ball into the line-out, pass it out past one, and then one inside, and the inside ball to the winger. And it's Mark with the hell of a long surname again in his very early Australian career, making inroads. Tell you, this is a player to watch for the future. Makes a fantastic run through the middle. Gets the ball over. Australia right back into this game. Tell you what, a training ground move, and it worked to perfection. Mark Kanitawasa. I'm going to go with your name as that. Great little try there. Great piece of play. Tell you what, he's single-handedly trying to spur on this Australian team. For somebody this young, it's a hell of a job. And Timberwick now just looks like an idiot. Really. At the end of the day, he just looks like an idiot right now. Because tried to save the try, and they scored a try within 1 minute of his yellow card. Now he's got to spend 9 minutes on the bench. And Australia now all over them. Basically, Australia with 25 points to go. 25 points, I mean, and Wales with 34 points. And we've still got 12 minutes to go, of which majority of that is going to be spent with 14 men on the field for Wales. So Australia potentially given a huge lifeline right at the end to try and come back into this game. It's still a very hard task, you know. Still another 2 scores, but tell you something, with a yellow card on Wales' side, it could happen, especially if they just try and get this ball out to this Australian number 11. I'll tell you something. Very, very special player. Very interesting player to watch. So we restart again. Wales kick off. Goes in just inside the Australian 22. Diane makes the tackle. McDermott looking for the ball now. think they're going to set up another ruck. No, they're going to shift the ball out from their 22. They're playing running rugby. No, they opt to kick eventually. Ball is kicked up midfield. It's collected here by Dan Bigger, who kicks it all the way back into the 22, pretty much centrally. It's a big game of ping pong right now, and it's kicked back from Australia. And I think that's Josh Adams now with the ball. Indeed it is. And he kicks it back. We're just playing ping pong right now. As a forward, you hate this because all you're doing is just going forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. But now Australia opt to run. They shift it out to the wing. Doesn't quite work out for them. But yeah, they do manage to make it up just before the halfway line. They're going to spread the line again. Australia playing much better rugby now. They've got space in the line. If they just make the passes, and it's got a gap here. They're trying to get it out to the winger, but not able to. Samu takes it up, and he's taken down midfield, and McDermott's going to have to recollect on the halfway line. Australia trying the line again. It's going to have to be soft hands for Australia, but they're not able to. It was a bit poor, actually, because he had a bit of time to make that pass away, but Wales did very well to get that tackle in and push them 10 metres back, basically. Australia still trying to push forward here. I don't think they should be kicking this. They're about to do a box kick. It's going to be a very bad idea, personally. No, he fakes it quite cleverly. They're shifting it across the back line. And he chooses to try and go through the middle. Not necessarily the right decision, but either way. McDermott now out. And, it's an inside ball. And he's looking for the winger. It's Mark again, but he's not able to get there. Wales managed to recover very well. Oh dear, the kick is charged down as he's trying to make it. It's going to be a knock-on, I believe. Let's see. Knock-on by Wales. Therefore, Australian scrum on the 22-metre line in the Welsh half. So, Australia with another potential opportunity to attack. And they've got numbers, of course, in the scrum. So, they could win some scrum penalties here. And potentially put this ball out for a line-out and then try and maul it over. Because the maul has been quite effective for Australia today until their yellow cards. But now they obviously have 15 men again and their tails are up. It's definitely all eyes Australia now. Just going to go through the comments. Mark my words, Australia will not win this game. Well, it's difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's very unlikely, but I tell you, the way they're playing right now, might well do. As I say, Albert, to go to your comment regarding a longer surname, Janse van Rensburg, the easy thing about that is there's 3 different words, which means you can pronounce them separately. Janse van Rensburg. So the problem is with Nawakani Tawasa is it's one word. It's one word. It's a very long word. And I'm just hoping that I'm saying it somewhat correctly. But yes, the veteran Ellerman Jones is being subbed off here. Tell you, he's had a storm of a game yet again. This man just cannot stop playing well. It's incredible to see how well this man plays. And he's off. Standing ovation. Felatar as well. Fantastic game for him. But yeah, Wales making some subs here. Let's see if they can try and get this through. So Australia now with the scrum. Scrum doesn't do anything. The Choach goes to the blind side. McDermott runs himself. Tell you what, he's making a bit of ground there. It's now Kani Tawasa. He's with the ball in the middle. He's shifted off to they're all the way on the 5-metre line already for Australia. Tell you what, Australia's really moving forward now. Wales, and it's an advantage to Australia for not running away from Wales. So Australia can do whatever they want with this attack. They've got a little bit of space. They come back to midfield. Wales doing well just to close the gaps there. And I think this is going to be called back for a penalty now because it's been held up a little bit too long. Yeah, they're going to come back for the penalty just in front of the posts. Be interesting to see what Australia do now. Do they go for a scrum? I'm sure they will probably go for a scrum here. Surely you go for a scrum and then they try to go blindside. I think this is going to be an Australian try very, very soon. And do they have enough time to score another one? Because it's going to become very, 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 very close now. Yeah, let's say it. I'm going to say him again, just hoping that I'm saying it correctly. But Nawakani Tawasa is unbelievably good. And this is a big, big find for Australia. And I'll tell you something. They may well have a new star man in their team that they've just suddenly just stumbled upon, basically. He's had a stormer of a game, man of the match, regardless of the result. But Australia opted for the line out and they put it in. They're trying the maul. The maul is now just set. Let's see if they can get some good go forward. They're getting good go forward. I think the refs called it once. Use it once, potentially. No, maul is still going forward. The backline's getting involved. Backline players are in. The ball is moving forward. It's over the line. Can they get it down, though? The Australians are celebrating. The ref deems it to be held up. I don't know if he's going to have a TMO check on this, but the ball is definitely over the line. It's just whether or not it's been placed. I mean, if you're actually watching the game regarding the comments saying Edmund Jones needs to retire, not a chance. So long as he keeps playing like he's playing, he's arguably one of the best, if not the best, lock in the world. And obviously, Eben Etzebeth is very much challenging that, if not also I'm taking that placeholder. But I mean, Edmund Jones, just week in week out, just pure class. You cannot deny his unbelievable skill, and he irritates me to no end. Because all he does is, it was when he was captain, he wouldn't shut up. But tell you what, I do enjoy watching his skill set because he is a very, very proper player. And they have gone up for the TMO review, but it's going to be a on-field decision, which is on-field decision no try, and there's no angles to show that they score this try. I don't feel this is the last angle they're going to look at. We're seeing some bare ass as well. Yeah, they're certainly going to keep the on-field decision, which means it'll be a 5-meter scrum to Australia, which they surely should also score off because Timberwick is, of course, off, which means that there's space on the blind side or on the open side. All Australia need to do is just get a good recovery out of the scrum, and they should be able to spread it either way and get a try over. It's very difficult to defend against a try when you've got a man down in the scrum. But we're still waiting for this TMO decision because apparently they reckon they found another angle which might show the potential try. Or do they say illegal action, and then what they're going to do is they're going to opt that... just trying to look to see if this ball goes down. Oh my word, that's huge decision. So 16 rejoins the maul incorrectly, thus causing the maul to collapse on the line. So it's a yellow card to the Wales 16 and a penalty try, which means that Australia are now within 2 points with 6.5 minutes to go, of which 4 minutes are with a yellow card to Wales. So as I kept saying, do not count Australia out now because of that yellow card. So Timberwick is looking like a right fool and not at all a captain's performance, because they may well have scored a try from his little action, but it would have been one try and you would have been 15 men and it would have been easy as anything. What's happened now? Australia are now 2 points behind them. 2 points. And now, not only that, as I say, because there's supposed to be another yellow card. So now you've got 3 minutes of 13 men for Wales. And then the rest of the game with 14. And Australia only 2 points behind. Oh my word. Oh my word. And for all of that, Australia just need to hang on to the ball there. What happens? They restart. Knock on. Spilled straight through the breadbasket. So Wales now with a scrum. And the Australian coach is not chuffed at all about that. Cannot believe that. Cannot believe it. All he had to do was just catch. No pressure on him. Oh, it's shocking. Oh, it's absolutely shocking. Now Wales, with a big lifeline. Of course now they're going to have to make subs though, because it's the hooker that's gone off. And it's a weakened scrum. So they're going to have 7 people in the scrum, which means they're also going to have one person out of the back line. So if Australia managed to turn the ball over in the scrum, it's going to be very dangerous. So Wales really, really under the cosh here. And if Wales do go on to lose this game, they've got nobody but themselves to shoot in the foot. Because they really have just shot themselves in the foot. Because there was no reason why they should have lost this game if they should go on to lose. Except for their own stupidity. And literally that. And they have made the sub. And it looks to be... Okay, yeah. The winger, of course, has come off. Alex Cuthbert. He's the one that's had to make way for the specialty sub. To make this scrum possible. So let's go to the comments quickly. Wow, I fully agree. My prediction might come right. Might come back on the cards. Yeah, Evan, I'll tell you something. Australia might well come back to win this. And saying, if Wales lose here, the coach must get the boot. Not tomorrow, but immediately. I don't think you can really put this on the coach. This is just shocking game management from Wales team. Can't really put that on the coach. But yeah, Australia win the penalty in that scrum though. So Australia with the ball, 5 minutes left. Still 2 yellow cards against Wales. So they need to try and get this kick as far up the field as possible. To try and get a decent line out set up. And they may well try and opt for the maul from the halfway line. That's where the ball has gone out. More or less halfway line. And I'll tell you something. The Welsh coaching box was looking so relaxed earlier and is now just completely... They're just completely confused, bamboozled. They don't even know what's just happened, really. They're watching this thinking, what on earth happened? Drop goal time. Come on, Wallabies. I don't think they have to actually opt for the drop goal. I think they should opt for the try here. I think there's a lot of space in behind for Wales. And as a result, I definitely think that what the Wallabies should be doing is just keeping ball in hand, hope for a penalty, kick the ball over, get in front. Otherwise, just try and go for that penalty. They're going to try and maul it from within their own half here. That Wales doing very well to combat the maul, but now Australia getting some good go forward. Now they're moving forward. They've got a bit more space. They're trying to get the ball back. And the maul's still moving forward. And surely the maul's gone down. It's been brought down by Australia though, so ball is available, so it will be just treated as a ruck. Australia got a lot of numbers. They just need a spread. It's a huge pass out to the star man of the match today, easily. He tries to beat the player, not able to, but he does manage to get the pass away in field. So Australia still hold on to the ball. Ruck is set up just on the halfway line. McDermott passes it off. The forwards just drag it in. You set up another ruck. McDermott now looking to try and pass this ball out. He does. Australia now looking to spread. They kick it in behind. I'm not sure why you'd kick the ball away. As I say, you would hold on to possession. Because all that's done now is Josh Adams has had the time to kick the ball well into the Australian 22. But Australia now trying to combat. The ball again goes straight up. It's not an up and under. I don't know what that ball is. But anyway, Dan Bigger now with the kick. And kicks it straight back to the Australian 22. And it's just a game of ping pong again. Ping pong, ping pong. And yet again, Australia kick it back to the Welsh half. And it's taken in. It's Hardy. And Hardy looks to kick all the way into the Australian half. And Australia pick it up. And Australia look to kick it. Oh, no, they don't. Finally. So Australia now bringing the ball up. Just about the 10-meter line inside their own half. I'll tell you what, they've got a lot of numbers, so they really need to utilize it now because McTuma can come on as soon as play stops. So if Australia want anything to do with these 13 men, they're going to need to take advantage of this. And they're spreading the line quickly. They've got numbers. They're spreading it quickly again. It's the star man in the midfield. He's got space. He's running through. He's trying in. He passes it into McDermott. He gets tackled from behind. McDermott gets the pass away though. Australia now just on the Welsh 5-meter line. McDermott has managed to get up from his tackle as he passed the ball away. He's now there. Ball's a bit slow. They're trying to shift it out. They've got a bit of numbers on the wing. Oh, it's a deliberate knock-on. It's a deliberate knock-on, but he still gets through. Australia have scored. Australia have scored. Oh, my word. Wales, what a stuff-up. What a stuff-up. It is Lonergan with the try. But it's going to be another yellow card to Wales regardless of, because it's a deliberate knock-on. Surely, ref, you're going to have to go and give a yellow card for that as well? I don't know. Just an unbelievable game of rugby in terms of switching. I mean, Australia were all out of it. Completely out of it. But the star man, yet again. Tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a player have as much of an effect on the game as I have today. Mark Nawakanitawasa, number 11 for Australia. I'm just hoping I say your name correctly. What a game he's had. He was the one that made the line break. He managed to get through. Australia set up 2 rucks. And there was an attempted deliberate knock-on basically by Hardy. But it was spilt and then picked up by Lachlan Lonergan. And he goes through. And he also makes the kick nice and easy as well for his teammate because he runs through all the way as far into the middle as possible, noticing that nobody was there in the background. And as a result, it should be an easy kick for Australia to get over. And suddenly, Australia find themselves in the lead by 5 points. Well, what should be 5 points as soon as they get this kick over. From nowhere, it was 34-15. I think. I need to confirm. Yeah. 34-15. I mean, was it 34-15? 34-13. 34... I can't remember. It's a long time ago now, apparently. But anyway, they were completely out of it. And Wales managed to completely throw it away. At home, in their own stadium. I'll tell you, if I was a Welsh fan, I'd be seething. Absolutely seething. Yeah, I would say, Dylan, this is probably the biggest comeback comeback victory of the entire tour. Should this stay the same? There's only a minute left. Wales with a yellow card, so Wales are going to have to try and somehow put a short ball in and just get possession and hope they can kick this towards the line or something just before, or win a penalty and just try and maul it over and get the victory right at the end. So we're in for a very interesting final minute. It's obviously only if Wales can try and get possession back. Dan Biggar with the short kick. He goes forward to try and get the ball back. Timurick misses it. Australia with possession just outside their own 10-meter line. McDermott now looking to pass the ball infield. He's going to be very slow about it. It's coming in. It's whacking it from the side there from Wales. So I'm confused to what he's doing there. And Australia just playing typical Bulls rugby now. It's with the forwards. They're just going to hold on to this ball. Set up and go. Set up and go. Set up and go. Just the drive each time. Ref just reminding them they have to stay on their feet. They can't go straight to the floor. Australia doing very well to manage this. 15 seconds left. McDermott getting the ball ready. He's going to set up one more ruck. They're going to set up one more ruck. The ruck is set. Australia well over this. Oh no, it's a penalty! Right there, they had 2 seconds left. Oh my word, sealing. It was sealing from Australia, so penalty to Wales right at the end on the 80th minute mark. I cannot believe the rugby that we are seeing here. So, lifeline for Wales. Biggest issue is they do have a yellow card against the name. Dan Biggar is going to be the one who is a fantastic kicker, of course we know. He's going to kick it towards the line, and Wales are going to look to maul this over. Does the kick go out? Where does it go out? Is it a good kick? It's not a great kick in terms of what they want. But I'll tell you something, it's a lot more than what they thought they would have got. So Wales now, with the ball inside the Australian 22 for a line out now. Australia will surely compete at this line out. So yeah, huge piece of play now coming up for Wales. They're going to need to try and maul this up and somehow try and score. What they're going to really hope for is an early advantage if they can just hold onto the ball, because then they'll just try and kick it out again and maul it over from the 5-meter line. I cannot believe this end to this game. Australia do compete, but they don't get there. Wales win the line out. They shift into the midfield. It's driven up nicely. They're in the 22. It's Hardy with the ball. He shifts it out. The forwards driving it up nicely. Hardy again. It's Timurick, the captain. Australia over it, but he's over it off his feet. Indeed, Wales are still going forward now. Driving up through the forwards. Well, Australia almost not rolling there. Wales still driving forward. Oh, it's a huge hit. Tom Hardy still... Tom Hardy. I'm so caught up in the thing. I've decided actors are playing rugby. Timurick with the ball now in the midfield. They're just on the 5-meter line of Australia. Okay, they're not really making much ground, though, the issue. But the problem is they can't afford to lose it. Australia over the ball. It's held on. Australia have done it. There was the try scorer, Lachlan Lonergan. He managed to rip the ball over. He kicks it out himself. And Australia pull off the most incredible comeback win of the whole series. And the Welsh coach cannot believe it. Hands on it. He cannot believe it. He is absolutely gobsmacked. And so am I from this game. What a game. Oh my word. Tell you something. Saving something from... snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. From the jaws of defeat. It's just... I cannot actually... I'm still gobsmacked. This Welsh side is practically crying. I don't think you can believe how insane of a turnaround that is. And I'm trying to decide whether or not that's Australia's win or Wales' loss. And when I say that, obviously it sounds stupid, but I'm saying in terms of, did Wales rather lose that more than Australia won that? I'd probably have to say so, and all eyes on Timurick. It was probably the most stupid yellow card, because so deliberate, to go and trip a player like that. And if he'd gone and scored that try, you still have 15 people on the pitch, and you still have lots of points behind your name. What difference does it make? Oh no, Australia now within 2 scores. They have to score twice still, with 10 minutes to go. But no, what does he do? Trips him, yellow card, they still score a minute later. Then they can easily score again, because there's now a man short. And then they score a third try, when they had another yellow card as a result of the pressure that Australia was being dealt. And Australia managed to get over and win the game. I can't actually believe, and I just need to go over these comments because I've just been watching this. I've just so many comments. And I'll tell you something. Mark my words there is that Australia will not win this game. Well, Australia win the game. I'll tell you something. I don't like the Australians either, but that was an unbelievable match. Just going through the comments here. Amazing. Only these two teams know how to lose it in the final seconds. Nothing truer. Absolutely nothing truer. Wales! Australia really got out of jail there. Yes, man oh man. Okay, predict the score the closest. I'll tell you now, Dylan. I'll tell you that now. So do stick around. I'm going to quickly go and have a look at all that. So the scores for the Welsh's coach's head will get louder. There's no doubt about that. They'll certainly be in there. But I mean, Wales played some fantastic rugby up until the last 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes came, and the last 20 minutes of the game, and they just completely threw it away. And I do mean completely threw it away. But tell you something, for the neutral, arguably one of the best matches of rugby this entire year to watch as a neutral fan. So that was fantastic. And I'm just quickly trying to find the results. I'll get there now, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. Trying to find these results in terms of who got this closest prediction. Just give me 2 seconds. I do apologize. Where is it? Trying to find my little folder. I will get there now. But just let me know in the comments what you thought of that game. Do be sure to go and tell me. Where is my... People, I've lost it. It's gone. I cannot find it. Surely I'll be able to find it somewhere. November. Where's it gone? No. I think I found it. I will tell you now. Wales versus Australia. It's not working properly. Just looking at this, indeed, yes, Dylan, you were the closest. Well done. So, Dylan, you win our 200 Rand free bet courtesy of BetCoza. So, congratulations to that. Dylan, you managed to win the 200 Rand free bet. Of course, if you have a BetCoza account, you will be rewarded with that later, and we will go and give the details to our partner, of course, for that. So don't expect it immediately, but that will eventually reflect in your BetCoza account. If you do not have a BetCoza account, sorry, you lost it. But yeah, that's what an incredible game. I'm out. Thank you so much for watching. Dylan, congratulations again. And thank you all for watching. Thanks for the comments saying thank you for the show, etc. Unbelievable game. I'm going to go and have to do a review quickly. And then on to the Springboks. Up the box. So we'll see. We'll see you all there. Do tell your friends to go and see there. So nice seeing you all. I'll see you again soon. Congratulations once again, Dylan. And my word, what a game. Australia 39, Wales 34. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Here we go.